Good evening, race fans, and welcome here to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A lot of races have been run across the Yard of Bricks, as they call it right here. The Indy 500, the Brickyard 500, some of the most prestigious races in motorsports history. Tonight, as you see, it's the Lymphoma Cancer Awareness 162 for the red light racing. It's the Scrambler series. This is a cut race here tonight. That means 8 drivers entered in here to this race. Only 4 of them will be leaving the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and racing in the final race at Texas just next week. Who are those 8 drivers? As you see on the top of the timing and scoring, we're to pull that away for you real quick. This is who is going to be racing to try and get into the round of 4. Eric Johnson tonight comes in to the good. He is tied evenly with James Skelton. Both those drivers have a good chance of making it. They are right now, though, only 5 points to the good. DJ Anderson, he comes up 3 points to the good tonight. And the man that's sitting correctly right on the cut line, that is going to be the driver of the 71. That is Nathan Maurer. Michael Trevarthen is the first driver down underneath the cut line. He is 3 points out of the championship hunt. Then it's James Heater, Max Terriel, Brandon Minto. Those 2 drivers, those 3 drivers actually, have a little bit of working their way in so they can race for a championship here this season with the Red Light Scrambler series. But to bring you all the action, I'm Roger Muth. Right alongside me here tonight, it's my good friend Al Smith. Al, it's the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It has 4 corners that kind of remind you of the tunnel turn that we were there a couple weeks ago. What are the keys tonight to bring home your car in one piece and advance into the Final 4?
The keys to advance here tonight, if you're one of those 8 drivers that you are just talking about, Roger, that is to win. If you win, you automatically advance into the next round, which will be racing for the championship next in 1 week's time. Capitalize on others' mistakes. If you stay out of trouble and finish ahead of them, you can almost guarantee yourself a spot in that championship 4. And you got to stay out of trouble. So you got to avoid the wrecks, not make any mishaps on pit road, and you'll have a chance of getting into the Final 4 here for the Red Light Scrambler series.
Yeah, and correction, we said that we were headed to Texas next week. Al, that's incorrect. It's Atlanta. Very similar track, just a little bit slicker. So Atlanta will be the next race on the schedule. So, well, we're not doing too bad here tonight to start things off, but as we're about to head into our qualifying session in just a couple of moments, we're going to take the quick step away here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and we will be back for your Lymphoma Cancer Awareness 162.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the boats bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And welcome back here, race fans, to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Qualifying is officially underway here, and one of the first drivers to hit the track, it's the South Point Casino 60 2 here. That is tonight's driver will be Ethan Troutman. Troutman, you know, did have a chance to make it into the next round of the playoffs, but he missed out by just 2 points with this Camaro. Now, Al, he's just out there racing for wins the rest of the way.
Yeah, and he showed last week at Iowa that he was the man that was not going to be not shown not to get to victory lane. He's going to come out here and try to play spoiler, because he's the first car to put a lap in on the books, a 51.026 for Ethan Troutman on lap number 1 in a very tricky and very technical Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Yeah, a lot of drivers do kind of claim that it is sort of like a, well, call it like the tunnel turn at Pocono. As you see, Ryan O'Donnell, he is out there. He did have the quick time for just a quick moment, and then the 31 driver, this Ford Mustang, goes to the top of the leaderboards here. So now that is going to be Michael Trevarthen as he works his way down the back straightaway. This is a very large 2-mile raceway here tonight. So we got a lot of track to work with. I don't think we're going to be shy of any good racing here. These boys always putting on one heck of a show. Look for them once we get ready to go racing to be 3 wide. Just going to take single cars here in our qualifying. Drop down your full timing and scoring there on the left-hand side of the screen. Find where your driver is running right now with 11 drivers putting time in.
Right now, Max Theriot, the driver that had a rough start to the round of 8. He's on a provisional pole right now, just edging out Todd Cray with a 50.732. So Max Theriot going to start looking to start on the pole with just over a minute and a half left to go here in qualifying. A lot of drivers on the racetrack right now. Donald Bennett in that turn 3, number 913 automobile. He'll come across the line. He'll slot into the 12th spot after lap 1. As they work around the corner, it'll be Sean Butler sliding into your 5th position, as almost everybody but 3 drivers are out trying to make an attempt with just over a minute left here in qualifying.
Yeah, qualifying gotta go quick here, as a lot of these drivers, you know, they got to get out there on track. There you see the 22 of Todd Cray, last season's champion, not racing for a championship this year in the Paradise Machine. Clocks by Christopher Entry. He is right now sitting 2nd on our timing and scoring. One of the drivers that are just finishing up there, you just saw him for just a quick, brief moment, the 71 of Nathan Maurer. Remember, he is racing for a championship also. So a lot of drivers putting in their qualifying times here early on. One of the drivers just coming across the line to complete his 2nd lap. That's going to be the driver of the 948. That is Michael Bromley in the DraftTop.com machine. He gets bumped by his teammate. Donald Bennett going to leapfrog him. So that'll put now Bromley back to the 16th position with that DraftTop machine. Not racing for a championship. It's been a rough year for Michael Bromley, but he's still out there kicking it. He right now runs 16th on the timing and scoring. James Heater now out onto the track with the low line racing Toyota. He will come across the line here and see what kind of lap time this driver is going to put in. Comes across the yard of bricks, and actually he's going to go to the 3rd quickest time with a 50.810. So a good time, or 813 actually, and that's going to end our qualifying session with Max Theriot scoring the pole here tonight.
Yeah, so Max Theriot going to put the name down first and show that he is not someone that's going to be messed around with, as he'll start on the inside of the front row as we take a look at our starting lineup for the Lymphoma Cancer Awareness 162 at the Indianapolis Speedway.
Starting on the front row here tonight with a blistering time of 50.732. He's a man that's in the championship hunt. He'll be the driver of the 42. That is Max Theriot. New Jersey's own, driving the 22, last season's champion. They call him Todd Cray. He'll start P number 2. Starting in the 3rd position, it's the low line racing, number 18. He is also racing for a championship. That's the 18. That is James Heater. The full throttle racing entry, Barstool Sports Lymphoma entry, that will be Brandon Minto. Starting 5th tonight in the Metalhead Racing, number 31. Driving that Ford Mustang, that is Michael Trevarthen. Starting in the 5th spot, the 88 of Sean Butler in the Trust Me Vaca 88. He starts 6th. 7th, out of South Carolina, the Somerville, South Carolina driver. That is going to be the 01 of Richard Murdoch. Starting to his outside, the full throttle racing Lymphoma entry, Ford Mustang 98. That is Ryan O'Donnell. Behind him, one of the other championship hopefuls driving out of Pennsylvania. That's the Blue Lives Matter 71. That is Nathan Maurer. In the 10th position and rounding out the top 10 out of South Carolina, driver of the 86. That is going to be James Skelton. He's another one of those championship hopefuls.
Starting on the inside of row number 6 will be the Echo Hawk Motorsports. Entering the number 62, that is Ethan Troutman. His outside, Joshua Buckley in car number 2. Starting on the inside of row number 7, the Stanos Brothers Racing. Car number 3, that is Tony Strano. Outside of him will be the car number 30, that is Justin Gann. Starting 15th will be Leo Bordage, and at number 11, Donald Pennant. In the 9-13 will start in your 16th position. Starting 17th in the Bohica Esports, number 948, the draft top entry, that is Michael Bromley. And Kevin O'Brien, the driver from Australia, will start 18th. 19th top will go to the 33 of Eric Johnson, and his outside will be Bruce Potter in car number 59. And shotgun on the field will be car number 21, or starting 21st. And car number 43, it looks like he made it to the grid. It was slated to be Joe Strano. So that is your 21 car starting field here for the Lymphoma Cancer Awareness 162, Roger. And we are about ready to kick the tires and light the fire underneath there for the penultimate race of the season. After this, only 4 drivers will be going for the championship next week in Atlanta in the trucks.
That's right, and it looks like currently only 20 cars did take to the grid here tonight at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Tony Strano may be missing the call to the grid, see if he can get that 3 machine out there on track. So 20 drivers will come out of turn number 4 as the iRacing pace car does make that left-hand turn. It will go to pit road. Let's see if we can not see that Chevrolet Silverado anymore, as we are green flag racing here in the Lymphoma Cancer Awareness 162. Let's see who's going to lock themselves into the championship 4.
Side by side, on number 1 Daryl on the inside line. That is the preferred groove. We got drivers sliding this way all but straight off the corner. 2 and 3 wide in the short chute. We never thought we'd say that. It's Daryl. Jumps out to your race lead. Peter will work underneath Trey off turn number 2.
So the battle is for the second position as that Toyota Camry is going to take the spot. But look at Brandon Minto. He is going to use the draft these cars here tonight. These cup cars will pop a huge draft down the straightaways. Minto will use advantage of the horsepower that's underneath the Ford bonnet here tonight. He'll go around that Chevrolet there of Todd Gray as they work through turn 4. Now it looks like Todd Gray going to get muscled out of the way. Here comes another one of those strong Fords here early in this race, but coming back around to lead lap number 1. Nobody has anything for the 42 driver. That is Max Terriel. He'll lead this lap, but the battle now is still going to be for the 4th spot as they enter turn number 1. Here comes the 31 of Trevarthen.
Trevarthen is going to make that a Zeus Power number 31 around Todd Gray, a little bit loose in the short chute there between 1 and 2. He'll hold on to it a little bit wide off of turn number 2. Cray right to the back left rear panel down the back corner. He's got company as Butler will swing it 3 wide down the back into turn number 3. Someone's going to have to give as they get down to turn number 3, and it'll be Cray. He'll tuck back in line, giving the position to Butler. Butler right there along the inside line. He'll have to tuck it behind the 31 of Trevarthen as he can't do anything with them as they come through the short chute between 3 and 4. Coming down the front stretch, we'll put lap number 2 on the books.
Yeah, as we look back here off our onboard camera with the driver of the 31, there you see behind them everybody trying to find a home. But right now it is all Max Terriel still leading the way here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. James Skelton trying to bring his Slim Jim 86. Look at Maurer. He is not going to go easy here tonight. This driver has been practicing all week long with this Cup car. He wants to be in the Final 4. And probably nobody else out there on track here tonight other than Maurer, who just wants to be there at the end. He wants a chance. He looks at the Red Light Racing Series, and he says this is the best league out there. It has the strongest competition, because each week you have to battle with the Terriels, the Mintos, the Butlers, the Trevarthens, the Crays, some of the best talent onto the iRacing platform, and Maurer wants to be associated with them. If he can just get himself into that Final 4 round, his name will be up there against some of the best.
It definitely will. He's going to be in tonight's action just 3 points above the cut line. He is racing Michael Trevarthen, who sits right now in your 5th position. So right now, Maurer, if the race were to end, would be on the outside looking in for the championship fourth. So luckily, they've got 63 laps to go as they snake down the backstretch with Mauer. So he's doing all he can. He knows the market's right there in front of him, and he knows who he's racing. Right now, Max Dario out in front of this one, doing what he needs to do. So if Dario wins, it's going to come down to the 7 drivers based on where they finish. If they lead a lap, they get the bonus points. And what's going to happen here as we get closer to the end of this one. But right now, Mauer, you can see Trevart in his window, so he knows he's in a good spot right now.
Yeah, I'm getting word, though, over the race comms that the driver of that 31 of Trevarthen that we were just talking about, how he is racing with that 71 for that cut position on the cut line. Last time out of turn number 1, that Azus 31 Ford Mustang was into the outside wall. And this track being so long with these straightaways, that might hurt the driver of that 31, as here comes the 86 of James Skellin. He'll look down to the inside. Trevarthen lost 2 positions last time around on the speedway. Now he's going to lose another one as James Skellin goes to the inside. Now that will put those 2 drivers on the cut line, running nose to tail in the 8th and the 9th position. Mauer is right there, and don't look now because O'Danny is back there. Ethan Troutman is also sitting there, and Justin Gann. They are also running side by side because it could be a long night now here for Michael Trevarthen, as we are maybe not even quite halfway into this tire and fuel run. As now here comes that 71 of Mauer. He thought about diving to the inside at the end of the straightaway there into turn 1, but he elected to stay behind him. He knows he will have a faster car now. He can tell by how fast he pulled up onto that 31. Just got to get the run down the straightaway, but he will miss turn number 2. Here comes Ryan O'Danny now to the inside, as he's not going to be able to make it.
Yeah, Danny right there onto the back bumper, giving the 71 Blue Lives Matter entry of Nathan Mauer a push down the backstretch into turn number 3. Can't do anything with him right now as they run single file. That time, Trevarthen's going to go a little bit wide. That'll allow Mauer to get right back to the back bumper. Side by side, 2 turns, number 4 to come down the front stretch. Mauer is going to pass Trevarthen, and it'll put him into the 8th position. Bringing O'Danny in at 98. He'll take a swing to the inside, doing the side draft down the very long straightaways here at Indianapolis Raceway, down into turn number 1.
Yeah, so now that will put Nathan Mauer up into that 8th position. Ryan O'Danny, 9th. Trevarthen down 5 positions. He has lost the most positions here tonight. He is all the way back into the 9th spot, or 10th spot now, actually, as O'Danny didn't get around him. So that's might be a long night. You can see the mile-per-hour difference down the straightaway as Mauer actually a little bit slower. He kind of missed that last corner there, so he was a little bit slower going down that straightaway, but O'Danny's just going to end up pushing him. See where those drivers will wind up. Let's go back out front here, though. The race lead has not changed here tonight, and is still the driver of the 42, Max Terrill. He will come by this time. He will complete the 7th lap here out of the 65 tonight, going 162 miles here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There you see Terrill just behind him by, well, about a half a second back. It's the low line racing, 18 of James Heater. They both right now run 1-2 on the raceway. Staying a little bit farther back, call that, well, about 2.5 seconds back. That is Sean Butler, not racing for a championship in the Trust Me Vaca 88, but he has, maybe a little bit of scrape that time out of turn number 2, and might have actually just been a little bit of warping from his car. I don't see any damage to the right front of the Trust Me Vaca 88. Right now, Butler is going to be running, somebody way out of shape coming out of turn number 2. That was Kevin O'Brien way back here, and as he gathers up the Shell Ford Mustang, he's going to fall back to the 19th position. But I don't know. There is a ton of damage on that right-hand side, and maybe somebody smoking out in front of him also. There might be more cars involved in this incident than what we saw.
There might be as they work off the corner. It looks like the Joe Strano trying to put the pressure to the Little Debbie 59 of Bruce Potter. That's the battle for your 16th position. They run single file down here in the turn numbers 1 and 2. So it'll be Potter leading Strano. They're trying to look to see where there's any contact, Roger. It looked like maybe just O'Brien, maybe a little bit loose off turn number 2 last time by. We'll see how he handles it as he comes through the short chute onto the backstretch. It looks a lot more stable that time. That Shell Pennzoil V-Power entry, the Ford Mustang.
Donald Bennett just behind him. It looks like the turn 330, the 913 actually, has been into the outside wall a couple times. He has a bunch of right front damage, and a little bit farther back behind him, that is the 3 there. That is Tony Strano. Strano did miss the drop of the green flag, and now he is a little bit farther back. He is running the Lymphoma car here tonight, so it's a rough start for the driver of the number 3. Showed 1 lap down, and Al, I'm also seeing some damage on the right front of that machine. Tony setting up a GoFundMe here tonight. Our sponsor is Lymphoma Cancer Awareness 162. There's a link down in our description here tonight, you know, to help out Team Jeremy. Jeremy, one of the fathers of the Red Light Racing Series, good friend, good follower for the series. So if anybody would like to contribute to some of the medical expenses that they are, you know, occurring right now, head on down below here into our description and go ahead and give them a little bit of a look over and see what we can help them out with here tonight. But it is a long night ahead for Tony Shrano, missing the green and now having damage to that number 3.
Yeah, still on the lead lap right now, but he is about a half a lap behind our race leader, Max Terrio, who has opened up to a 1.07 gap over James Heater, then their number 2 spot. Then it is Sean Butler, Brandon Minto, and James Skelton rounding out your top 5. Just 10 laps in, 55 laps remaining here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And they've kind of settled into a groove here, Roger. We are just about halfway into what I calculate to be a fuel run. I think that they can go anywhere between 16 to 20 laps on a full tank of fuel. And the tires, well, they're going to be screaming a little bit before that tank goes dry.
Yeah, we'll have to see who's going to be willing to stretch it just a little bit, as the 22 of Todd Cray got back around Richard Murdoch, so that'll move him back into the 6th position. Joshua Buckley back here, not driving for a championship in the Blue Deuce here tonight. He is currently running back into the 13th spot, but he got really wicked loose out of turn 2, I believe that was. Here comes the 30 of Justin Gann. He will look down to the inside here with his Toyota. See if he can make a pass on Trevarthen. Trevarthen has fallen back to the 11th spot, so he has only lost another, well, 1 position on track, and that was to the 33 of Eric Johnson. Since we last checked up on one of our Chase Championship drivers, he is now, though, looking to possibly lose a position here to the number 30 of Justin Gann. He's going to bring that Toyota down the back straightaway to the inside. Oh, looks like O'Brien, more connection issues out back there off turn number 2, but Justin Gann will now take that 10th or 11th position as we work lap number 12.
Lap number 12 is Gann gets by him in the RV rig chassis number 30. And they come down here and be putting lap number 12 on the board. Working lap number 13 now as they work down here to turn number 1. Well, Danny in that number 98 looking very sporty. He's all over the back bumper, that dirty mode number 33 of Eric Johnson. Johnson, our biggest mover of the race right now, up 10 spots from where he started the race. And that number 33 as they come off of turn number 2. They got Nathan Maurer just in front of them. That'll be the battle for your 8th spot when Johnson gets there. But a good side-by-side battle up here, Roger, between Brandon Minto, Todd Cray, and Skelton. They're all 4 cars underneath the blanket, side-by-side, turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, last couple laps, it looks like the 20 of Brandon Minto has become a little bit slower out there on the race pace, and everybody trying to really pounce on him right now. That full throttle racing driver, Barstool Sports entry number 20, has started to fall backwards now. Now he loses the spot to Skelton. Here comes Todd Cray. He'll side draft down to the inside as they come across the yard of bricks. And you see that inside lane is going to be where you want to be, as Murdoch had to swing it wide that time out of turn 1. A little sideways for him. Ryan O'Danny going to do the same thing, just a little bit farther back. Each of these drivers trying to get everything they can here. They know green flag pit stops are coming soon, as look at James Skillen. Since he got around the Brandon Minto machine, he has checked out. He has pulled about 8, 9, 10 car lengths in just about a lap and a half here, as Todd Cray passes the Minto machine. Minto falls back into the 6th position for the time being. He's got one of those full throttle racing entries of Richard Murdoch right behind him. You know, Al, every time I look at this full throttle racing organization, it reminds me of the Rick Ware racing organization. As you see, Brandon Minto, he will be the first one to actually swing her down pit road. So he will now bring that machine down, and Ryan O'Danny also to follow. But some of these guys on the full throttle racing organization, they run the Ford Mustang. Some of them run the Chevrolet. It's just a little bit of a mixed match. Buy what we can get from the bigger teams and see if we can still put it to use here for us.
Yeah, and they come out here and they're competitive week in and week out, so they're getting the right pieces, the right parts, as now Todd Cray has started to roll back in on the number 86 of Skelton. Is now Cray's going to take a peek to the inside, can't do anything with him at the end of the long back straightaway. He'll keep it in line as they head down to turn number 3. Single file into the short chute with that Slim Jim number 86 of Skelton showing the way. Cray looking a little bit quicker right now. He's Skeleton's hearing the TikToks from that clocks by Christopher, number 22.
Yeah, it looks like both your leaders that are out in front, top 5, going to all stay out here. Top 6, it looks like the next car down to pit road might be the number 2. Oh, Buckley actually going to miss pit road. He was aimed to come down that time by, and you can tell the difference. He is very slow on the front straightaway. It looks like he was about 7 to 15 miles an hour difference there by the time they hit turn number 1, depending on where you were in that draft. So Buckley misses pit road, gives up a little time. Bruce Potter, though, in the Little Debbie's 59, he did find his way to pit road. So right now, 3 drivers have come down here on lap 15 and 16. See who will be the next taker next time by. As you still see, there's Terry Opal. Ryan O'Danny did get out in front of your race leader, so he did not go a lap down.
He did not yet. Is now your race leader going to come off turn number 4. He'll take the hard left-hand turn, bringing James Heater. So Sean Butler is going to go to your race lead as Max Stereo will hit pit road speed, which is 50 miles an hour here tonight at the Indianapolis Raceway. And Roger, that is very slow considering they're doing almost 190 down into the corners.
Yeah, he's going to bring a couple others down pit road. It looks like the 86 of Skelton, the 22 of Cray, and the 31 of Trevarthen. They all also come down pit road, so that's going to cycle back through to the race lead for the first time here tonight. The 88 Trust Me Vaca entry of Sean Butler. Bruce Potter now coming back out onto the track. It looks like an unscheduled stop there, or a little bit longer stop actually for Bruce Potter, so he will be the first one to go a lap down here this evening. Ryan O'Danny still out there in front of our leader. I expect to see the 88 of Butler try to stretch his fuel as far as he can go. He was back in the draft a little bit, but I think 17 may be as far as the 88 can go, but he'll swing it high. He's going to give it one more go round. Can he complete 18 laps on a tank of fuel here tonight? Here comes the Dirty Mo Radio 33, Eric Johnson. Here comes Maurer and Gann Buckley, all going to come down this time also. It looks like the 11 of Bordage wanted to. He got a little bit wiggle and then decided to power back into her, and he'll go back around again. The 948 of Michael Bromley coming down along with Joe Strano. So the pit road is a busy place right here on lap 18.
And remember, the keys to the race here right now is the 88 of Butler is going to work around Trevarthen, or try to, as they come up the speed down the back stretch. Remember, you can't just pull out onto the race's surface. You got to work that inside line. So Trevarthen will go 1 lap down, but I believe he'll easily get back by the 88 of Butler, who moves up the racetrack. Lets Trevarthen go. Got to think that the 88 should be coming down pit road this time by, as the fuel window is between about 15 to 20 laps, depending on how hard you push it. And well, Butler's going to stay out, so he's going to go one more lap around Indianapolis Raceway.
Yeah, it looks like also Richard Murdoch on that same strategy. You also got to remember, though, we're in the Cup car here today at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A lot of downforce, low horsepower numbers. These cars punch the big hole in the draft, and for these 2 drivers that are able to stay out right now, they can possibly, since they were back into the draft, have saved just a little bit of fuel. You don't have to be full throttle when you're back there riding in the draft. So look how everybody is broken up here under this green flag pit cycle. I actually think possibly Richard Murdoch, and look for a moment like he might have been out of gas. He was wiggling the 01 down the back straightaway. He's actually going to fall into line there behind. That's the 948. That is Michael Bromley, the draft top entry. And Murdoch going to swing it way high down to turn number 3. That handling has gone away. Here comes Sean Butler, though, down pit road in the Trust Me Vaca 88. Hard onto the brake, sideways with the 88. He'll get it down to pit road speed. We'll see, though, if he actually made pit road speed before the commitment line. And also, you see Richard Murdoch coming down. You see Bordage. Troutman also coming down pit road. I heard Troutman's spotter just say, better bring it down before they start talking about you and bad things happen.
Well, you know what happened to Troutman earlier on last season, but it'll be Butler. Overshot his pit stall, Roger, so that costly mistake for the 88 of Butler as they work around the car is right now Max Stereo is going to be shown as your race leader, but it'll be James Heater that's going to be close in tail. Remember when they came down pit road, Heater was over 15 car lengths behind Stereo. Now it's down to 5, so the pit window, those 2 came in on the same laps, but it must be Heater got through the pits a little bit quicker than Theriot did, but Theriot still showing the way as he regains the lead on lap number 19.
Yeah, and there we see the battle, the difference. Right now, James Heater is faster, but you do see him in the draft there behind the 42. The question being, though, Is there maybe a little game being played here? They were some of the first drivers to bring them down pit road, so possibly both of them. Maybe Terriel backing up to heater here, trying to save a little bit of that fuel. That could be something we got to watch here as we go forward in this Lymphoma Cancer Awareness 162, as we're about a quarter of the way through this one here tonight. You know, I think fuel mileage, Al, that's what this is going to come down to. It's going to come down to maybe a splash and go if we stay green. And the way this race has been trending, it looks like we might be in a green flag pattern because everybody is completely spread out. Let's take you through your top 10 here as the green flag pit cycle has now completed. Out front, driver of the 42, he has led just about all but 5 laps of this race so far. That is the 42 of Max Terriel, but just sitting back about 4 or 5 car lengths as the sun finally comes back out here in Indianapolis, out as it's been overcast all day long so far. There you see the low line racing, number 18 of James Heater. Call it about 4 seconds back. You're going to find this man. It's the full throttle racing, number 20 of Brandon Minto. He is just back here. He needs to have himself a good night. He did come in, though, running in that 8th position. Remember, though, he was 4 points out of the championship hunt, so he needs to have himself a good night, and it's exactly what he is doing here in the early stages. Down 2 positions, running back here in the 4th position, last season's champion Todd Gray. He is having himself a solid night in the Clocks by Christopher entry. He is currently running in the 4th spot. Another one of the championship entries, though, driving out of Carolina. That's the Slim Jim 86. He came in with 1 win on the season. 10 top 10s, 10 top 5s. Right now he has another top 5, another top 10 in the works here. Not quite to the halfway point, so don't count your chickens before they hatch for James Skelton. He right now would find himself, if the race ended though, he would find himself into the next round.
Running in your 6th spot, just behind that battle for your 5th, will be the Ryan O'Danny in that car number 98. The Lymphoma Cancer Awareness number 98 here tonight as he heads down to turn number 1. He is up 2 spots from when the green flag dropped, just 22 laps to go. Right behind him is Sean Butler, who came in, stayed out extra long, stayed out an extra 3 laps during that green flag first stint of green flag pit stop, trying to see if he'd catch a yellow. Couldn't do it. He finds himself in the 7th spot. The tied for your points lead coming in is that Dirty Mo Radio number 33 of Eric Johnson. And Johnson is shown as your points leader coming into the night. Right now, he would find himself in the final 4, headed to Atlanta next week if the race were to end right now. Running in the 9th spot, up 5 positions from where he started, is Justin Gann in car number 30. Gann kind of having a quiet night, started back in the 14th position, now runs in 9th, and rounding out your top 10 will be the car number 31, that is Michael Trevarthen.
That's your top 10 runners here with 23 laps officially in the books here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Trevarthen, though, you just talked about him running in that 10th spot. He has the damage on the right front. We're going to have to see on the long run if that's really going to affect that 31 Azus Machine, the Republic of Gamers entry here tonight. We'll keep an eye on him. Who was he racing, though, coming into the final race? It was Nathan Maurer. We were talking about him a couple moments ago, the Blue Lives Matter Chevrolet out of Pennsylvania. Maurer, though, taking a long trip down pit road. I think he may have got popped for a speeding penalty because he sat down on pit road, call it about 10 seconds slower than everybody else. So now Maurer trying to get back to where he was. He was inside the top 10. Currently, Maurer is running back into the 14th position. So a tough break for Nathan Maurer. Right now, he finds himself on the outside looking in at the chase drivers. Remember, he said he wanted to be there at the end of this one. And it's going to be, still has 40 laps to get it done.
40 laps to go, and with this one looking like he's going to have to play some strategy, I believe, Roger. We've seen the speed in that Chevy Camaro and that for Nathan Maurer, but it's a lot of ground to make up, especially if this race stays green like it looks like it's going to right now as they work lap 25. Only 40 laps to go. This time by it'll be 39 to go at the line, so not a lot of time to make up that ground that you made, and it does look like he was at least 7 seconds slower on pit road than everybody else last time by. So whether he was just being careful or, like you said, maybe a little bit of an issue on pit road as he works around the 59 of Bruce Potter. That'll put him up to the 13th position. So we'll have to see about capitalizing, maybe hitting your marks a little bit better the rest of this race. But Mauer definitely has got himself in a hole looking for a way out.
Yeah, back out front here, though, still the same two cats leading it by about 7 seconds over the rest of the field. These two have checked out after the green flag pit cycle. It is Max Terriel, James Heater still running nose to tail. Heater not able to lead a lap just yet. Actually, James Heater did lead a lap as he waited 1 lap later to pit over the 42. That's where he actually did get his lap led here tonight. So both these drivers kind of just sitting in tow. I don't think James Heater is actually trying to get around the 42. I think he may be playing that strategy. Remember I talked about it just a little bit ago, Al? Sit back there in the draft and save a little fuel. Let Max Terriel pull him around this big 2-mile track.
Yeah, you definitely can get the draft down the backstretch in the turn number 3. They'll go. So right now, also trying to figure out where's my car better? Can I get a pull with the draft on the 42 later on this race? Could it be a side-by-side photo finish? But also, Heater doesn't necessarily need to push the issue right now. He knows Max and him are on the outside looking in going into tonight's race. Heater comes in 6th in the standings. He was only 5 points back from the cutoff man of Nathan Mauer. One driver that was in is not here tonight, DJ Anderson. So they all move up 1 spot theoretically, moving when the green flag started here tonight. So it'll be interesting to who makes it. But right now, by my calculations, I believe Theriot was in a must-win situation. Heater could not necessarily need to win the race, finish right there with him, and move on into the final round at Atlanta Motor Speedway next week.
Yeah, so a lot of different strategies that can be played so far here the rest of the way. Who is also out there? You see Brandon Minto. He's running in the 7th spot. He's one of those championship contenders. Just ahead of him is the 33 Dirty Mo Radio. That's Eric Johnson. He is one of the biggest movers of the race so far. He is up 13 position. Minto down pit road here. And here comes Ryan O'Danny also. So 2 drivers. I'm not sure. Is this calculated out? This is only about 11 laps since they last pitted.
Yeah, they might be trying to cut this race. Get off sequence. I kind of like the call here. They split the fuel run in half as they both come down pit road right now. They're going to hit their marks. So they are going to be on a different pit sequence, especially if this stays green. This might play big dividends right now as they knew they were very far behind our race leader, Max Theriot and James Heater, just based on the blistering pace that they are both running. Your last time by, they were almost 3/10 faster than anybody else on the racetrack with that clean air out front. Minto down in the way, 4 tires and a full tank of Sunoco race fuel as they work off a pit road. And it looks like they will go down 1 lap at the moment as your race leaders flash by them as they come off pit road.
Yeah, so now they're going to be a little bit behind the 8 ball for a little bit. We're going to see now if those fresh tires, though, will mean anything for the 20 and the 98. See if they can power back and get around the race leaders back onto the lead lap. It looks like Sean Butler is also going to play a little strategy. He brings the Trust Me Vodka down. This is definitely an unscheduled stop for the driver of the 88. Maybe they're just running it all backwards here tonight. A very big track. Everybody is spread out now. Sean Butler down and away. A 9.9 second stop for Sean Butler. That was a 2-tire right side only for Sean Butler as he'll leave pit road. He will be trying to stay on the lead lap. There you see Tony Strano. He goes by in his green number 3. Tonight having the Lymphoma Cancer Awareness 162 sponsorship on that car. Team Jerry on the side of that.
And right now he is the last car on the lead lap will be the number 88 of Butler. He gets up to speed down the backstretch. Tony Strano right there in front of him in that number 3 automobile. And Roger, I kind of like this. Right now there are 35 laps to go. You can split the last half of this race into 2 stints. So these drivers are setting themselves up to only have to come down pit road 1 more time to make it to the end.
Yeah, and now you see James Skelton is down pit road. He actually came sliding in there, so he'll actually take 4 tires here as that car is sideways in his pit box. He is down and away after a 4-tire pit stop. That was a 14.8 or 14.58 second stop actually for James Skelton, so he'll return the racing action running into the 17th spot, as it looks like he'll lose another one because there goes the Kevin O'Brien entry, the 184 out of Australia. He'll take the 17th spot away from him, and it does look like those 4 tires are a little bit faster than our race leaders, as actually we missed it. The 18 of James Heater going to leapfrog. He is going to come down pit road, and that leaves Max Terriel out here, and Ryan O'Danny now trying to get back on the lead lap.
If you're Max Terriel right now, are you coming down pit road next time by? Are you going to stretch out your race lead? He's got a 7.5 second lead over Todd Craig. Can you back your pace off and get the fuel mileage a little bit, as O'Danny will go flashing by him on the inside with those fresher tires? Or are you going to give up too much time? We'll see what Terriel does this time off at turn number 4. It looks like he'll peel it to the left side, so your race leader will come down pit road this time by.
Yeah, he was very slow on that last lap around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 2 miles of off-the-pace racing action there for Max Terriel. He is going to say enough is enough, and he will come down pit road. He's going to drag Justin Gann down along with him in that Camry, and we'll see probably just about everybody else coming down here. Only a couple drivers who have yet to pit. That will be the 22 of Todd Cray, who takes over the race lead now with Richard Murdoch. Those two, remember, were some of the last drivers to come down pit road. Also, one of those drivers that are still out there who kind of stayed out there late, that was the 11 of Leo Bordage. So we will see when they come down pit road. Trevarthen also, maybe he's going to play that different strategy. Remember, last time we checked up on Trevarthen, he had dropped out of the top 10 with his Metalhead Motorsports entry. And with him trying to advance into the next round with some damage, he's got to try something different. So maybe off sequence now here for Trevarthen. He's going to run this whole fuel strategy out. We will find out. Maurer also. Todd Cray coming down pit road here.
Okay, your race leader going to peel off. The clock's by Christopher, number 22, Chevy Camaro, down doing the 15 miles an hour down the front stretch. We'll see what Murdoch, he'll stay out. So Richard Murdoch is going to lead this lap. Lap number 32 going to go to Richard Murdoch as they work lap 33 down here, the turn number 1. It'll be the 0-1 leading this race by over 8.5 seconds over Joshua Buckley, who sits in your number 2 spot, yet to come down pit road right now. So the green flag pit stop's about halfway through. If these guys could catch a caution, they would be in the catbird seat.
Yeah, remember we just talked about Maurer and Trevarthen maybe playing that strategy. There you see both of them are down on pit road. So they are going to follow all of what the other leaders are doing here. Trevarthen looks like it's going to be a 4-tire stop for him. Also with Maurer, the left side's up, left side's down now, both of them will spin the tires leaving pit road. They're going to get all they can right here. We are officially halfway home in the Lymphoma Cancer Awareness 162 as we are working the second round of the green flag pit cycle. Right now, everybody has pitted except for the top 6, and that 6th place driver is the DraftTop.com entry of Michael Bromley, and I believe he is coming down pit lane right here. There he is as he makes the left-hand turn. He will follow the little Betty Bruce Pop machine, so now that will leave 5 drivers who have yet to pit. And actually, that 5th place driver, he did pit. He goes right by there in the Trust Me Vodka 88. Sean Butler right now would cycle back through when all this is over as your race leader.
And Sean Butler would be your race leader. And also notice that James Heater coming in 1 lap sooner than Max Terriel has leapfrogged to 42 on the scoring sheet right now. He is ahead of that 42 of Max Terriel. So Terriel was your race leader by staying out those 2 extra laps longer. Is going to cycle back. He'll be in your 3rd position once green flag cycles are all done. Here is Murdoch now working down the front stretch. He'll stay out to lead another lap.
Last time by, fastest car on the raceway, though, was that Dirty Mo Radio 33 of Eric Johnson. He is back here in the 10th position as Ethan Troutman will bring South Point Casino 62 entry down pit road here. He is going to come down this very long straightaway pit road. I mean, this straightaway, or this pit road, is the longest in the NASCAR circuit. It takes a very long time. A pit road penalty here would put you way behind. But to come down pit road, hit your pit box, and get out, you're looking at almost 50 to 53 seconds. So it's a very long time, as a lap here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway only takes you about 51 seconds. So we'll see if he can get back out before the 01 of Richard Murdoch comes back around here to lap him, because here comes Murdoch. He is already on the front straightaway, down and away for the Troutman entry, but now he's got to ride the apron all the way around turn 1 and all the way around turn 2 before he can re-enter the racing surface. Doesn't look like he will stay on to the lead lap, as here comes Richard Murdoch. Joshua Buckley, though, this time by will come down pit road.
Yeah, Buckley brings his number 2 car, the Miller Lite number 2, Joshua Buckley down pit road. Murdoch, I would expect to see him on pit road next time. Why? Last time we saw him on pit road was lap 19. Him and the 11 of Leo Bordage are our last 2 cars that yet to come down pit road. We'll see how this works out as they come off of turn number 2 through the short chute here on the far end of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
There you see the 62 going to get back around him. He will get his lap back, and Richard Murdoch, though, he is actually going to stay out here once again. So he stays out. Here comes the little Betty 59 of Bruce Potter. He'll work back around the race leader. He will take his lap back here tonight, so that'll now put 16 back on the lead lap in the drafttop.com entry. The Bohemian Esports driver, Michael Brownlee, will now work to the inside on Richard Murdoch, and he will get his lap back. Right now, though, Murdoch is hoping that a caution flag would come out so he could trap a couple of these guys down a lap down. It looks like possibly, though, 2 drivers may be out of the event, as one of them might actually be coming back on the pit road. That's actually, yes, Kevin O'Brien is still out there, and so is Donald Bennett, but both of them are down on the apron here, coming back out onto the raceway, as they have spent numerous laps down there on the pit lane. So those two are going to have an uphill battle. What about Murdoch, though? This time, lap 38, he will now finally pit.
He'll finally come down as James Heater has found his way around the 80 to Sean Butler. And also, it looks like the 11 of Leo Gordon will come down pit road, as both Butler and Heater had gotten around him before coming down pit road. So your race leader for the first time tonight is going to go to the 18 of James Heater. He wins. He'll move into the round of 4 automatically. He's got the 88 of Butler into the number 2 spot. Max Stereo got shuffled back to 3rd during this last round, but they're all right there within striking distance of your race leader.
Also right there, right behind the race leader, as you see the 43 of Joe Strano and Tony Strano. Joe having a little bit of a blinking issue there, but the Strano brothers right now running 18th and 19th on the timing and scoring. That would be the battle for the first car, 1 lap down. Joe Strano elected to get out of the way of those leaders, as Sean Butler going to blow the entry into the corner there. That's turn 3. Butler, that's not going to spell good top speed here as they work down the front straightaway. The Trust Me Vodka 88, though, will find a home in front of that Chevrolet of Joe Strano, as he'll get the nice push back up to the 42 there of Max Terriol. But remember, Butler was the only driver to take 2 tires. Now look, a couple other drivers back down pit road. We just got done with the second round of green flag pit cycle, and with 26 laps to go, here comes Brandon Minto, here comes Ryan O'Danny. Now both those teammates will pit once again. They will be the first 2 to pit road.
Do you think that they can make it from here, Roger? This could be the last time that we see those drivers on pit road. They came down every stint. They've gotten shorter and shorter. The strategy, we'll see how it plays out. They were inside the top 10 when they came down pit road, but since Stereo has gotten around the 88 of Butler, he is checked out, trying to chase down James Heater as they roar down the front stretch. So we'll put 25 laps to go here tonight in the Lymphoma Cancer Awareness 162.
Yeah, but it is only a 2-tire stop for both those Ford Mustangs. As you see your race leader here, Terriol, Butler, they will all get around those 2 machines here. Maybe they were just putting enough fuel in to get them to the next stage of this race. Remember, we're not quite in that window of you can make it the rest of the way here in the Lymphoma Cancer Awareness 162 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So we will see if they can get those cars back onto the lead lap here, because they do go down 1 lap to your race leader. Now they are racing the Joe Strano, Tony Strano entries here for being that first car 1 lap down. So Minto now runs 18th behind the Stranos, and then it's Ryan O'Danny, as it looks like Tony going to block them in here. They will not be able to get around them by the time they get to turn number 1. It looks like he might get the 3 of Strano. Strano going to duck back in line there, but he will not get to the inside of Joe. Joe actually going to miss the corner just a little bit. He's going to go up the track. That will put Brandon Minto to the inside. Almost contact, actually, as both those cars kind of slid through the center of turn number 1 through turn 2. Finally, Brandon Minto will take over that position. Now Joe and Tony will battle side by side.
Butler got the outside barrier off of turn number 2 as the 20 of Minto is working underneath him. The handling has gone away from that Trust Me Vodka number 88 of Butler as he's allowed Strano, Minto, and O'Danny. By him is now Joe Strano, and car number 43 is trying to work him over. But interesting to mention here, Roger, Brandon Minto. He was in a must-win situation coming into tonight's racing activity and had to do something different, and he is on a lot of very different fuel strategy, pit strategy in that number 20 car. So maybe it'll work out for him. Maybe they know something that we don't, and that's why we're up here in the booth.
Yeah, just taking a peek last time by at the line for Brandon Minto, it was a 52.91 second lap for him. Your race leader of Max Theriault last time by was a 53 flat, so he is about a tenth of a second a little bit faster, but is it going to be enough? Because with 23 laps to go, my calculations are right now here as you see O'Danny and Minto as they run nose to tail. Your race leader's just in front of them nose to tail. They're going to be 3 laps short at least here on fuel. And they're faster than the race leader right now, which indicates that they are not saving anything in those Ford Mustangs. But the Fords have gotten a little bit better fuel mileage if you kind of page through the notes here, but they are not going to be able to make it.
No, they're going to be about 3 to 4 laps shy if it stays green, but that maybe they don't have to come down pit road. Maybe they come down for a splash of fuel and go if they get inside the window here with just 10 laps to go. It'll be interesting to see Max Theriault back around Heater. He is your race leader as they work down the backstretch in the turn number 3. So Theriault was able to get around Heater. Remember, Heater came out during that last green flag cycle as ahead of Theriault. Now Theriault able to get back by him and showing the way as the sun pops back out here between 3 and 4.
Yeah, Danny going to slap the wall a little bit. Minto was in such a hurry to get around the low line racing number 18 that he actually packed a lot of air onto that back spoiler of James Heater. That's what got him kind of a little bit loose. Now Minto's going to work upon your leader of your race leader of Max Theriault down into turn 1. He'll work to the inside. Theriault will just give him the inside. He will not try to hold him up. Will he be able to hold up Ryan O'Danny? That's the next car that will get to the inside, and O'Danny will actually poke the nose of the 98 down there into turn number 2. So those 2 drivers will get back out onto the race lead. Question being, who will be the next set of drivers to come down pit road? I'm still iffy on the strategy that the full line racing crew has elected to make here. Yeah, Ryan O'Danny's no longer left into the championship hunt, so he can go ahead and roll the dice as the clouds really do break that time in turns 3 and 4. But for Brandon Minto, the man who had the chance, you can't really ride around and do exactly what the race leaders do. That's just not going to work for you if you don't have the speed here tonight at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But putting yourself in the pickle right now that Minto did, we keep talking about it now. I'm just not quite sure. The man strategy, though, that I'm looking at right now that I really do like, that is going to be Todd Cray. He's back here. Yeah, he may be 10 seconds back from your race leaders, but he is the man that has the most fuel in his machine and the newest tires. Look for him. When he comes in, it will possibly be just a 2-tire stop to try and chew back into some of that lead that Theriault and Butler had. But think about it. The man who took 2 tires last time down on pit road, who's still inside the top 3, that's Sean Butler. And I'm looking at his lap times. He is 0.3 of a second slower now than Max Theriault and James Heater. He took 2 tires last time. I don't know if he can put 2 more tires just on the right side of that Trust Me Vodka machine and still carry the pace that he is right now.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to all have to be seen, but how about the strategy of Richard Murdoch? Came in on lap 38. Now he worked with 19 laps to go. If he can stretch it that far again, so roughly 20 laps he went last time. All he needs to come down is get out in that lead, come down for a splash of gas and go, and he might be able to steal this one from everybody here as they work through turns 1 and 2. Butler having the back bumper full of the 43 of Joe Strano as they work off of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway with that sun popping out. How much is that going to change the track on these drivers if it stays out for a long period of time?
Yeah, the track might start to heat up, get a little bit greasier. Remember how we talked about those 2 tires a little bit ago? It's going to make them a little bit looser when they would take those 2-tire stops. So we're going to see if anybody's willing to really risk it here in the late stages for those 2 tires. I expect a couple of these drivers like James Heater, Max Terriel, next time by, you might see some of your leaders for the first time come down pit road, and then it could be the last time you see any of them down on pit road. I'm taking a peek. It looks like Eric Johnson actually going to cut it just a couple laps short. He will bring the Dirty Mo Radio 33 down pit road and be the first one out of the top 10.
You can make it from here, so he'll be the first driver down pit road who will be able to make it. Our biggest mover of the race was him when he came down pit road. He was up 13 positions. Now he's down, and they'll go around to the right side of the car. Right sides are up on the Dirty Mo Radio. Number 33 at Johnson. They'll put him back down, work around to the left side. There'll be a 4-tire stop full of fuel, and he'll be down and away for the final time here tonight.
Yeah, good pit stop for him. It was a 15.3, so he'll get back out onto the track. Now it looks like the 62. It's the South Point Casino of Ethan Troutman. He will bring that car down pit road. It's going to be another 4-tire stop as the crew jumps over the wall here. He comes to a complete stop. Right side tires going on. And now look at the slew of cars that come in behind him. Here comes Max Terriel, James Heater, Sean Butler, James Skelton, everybody else coming down pit road. It is a busy, busy place here for the final pit stops of the race.
Dale is in that number 1 stall as he hits his mark through around to the right sides of that Maximine number 42 Ford Mustang. The right side's already done as they work around to the left side. The second can of Sunoco race fuel going in to that Ford Mustang. He is down and away. Lightning fast stop for the number 42 Max Terriel, 14.52. Dario will come off of pit road as ahead of everybody else. Bruce Potter is going to snake by, so let's see when this all snakes through. There will be the first driver down and away, so he should regain the lead, assuming we stay under green flag conditions.
Yeah, right now he would like to go green all the way to the end because it is cycled through now to being Todd Cray out front with Justin Gant and then Richard Murdoch. Remember, you picked Murdoch just a couple laps ago saying that he might be in the catbird seat. Maurer also maybe hoping for a caution flag. Here comes Michael Trevarthen. He was going to be the next one onto my list, hoping that there might be a caution being thrown here tonight with just 16 laps to go in this race. As you see, the 42 there of Max Terriel trying to get around Bruce Potter. That would be a battle for position on track. Terriel will now take over the 7th spot, pushing Potter back to the 8th spot on the raceway. So just one driver down on pit road. That time by, it was Michael Trevarthen. Donald Bennett also down on pit road with the 913 machine. He has had a long night here at the Indianapolis Raceway, and he is just not having the night for that 913. He is numerous laps down right now with just 16 laps to go. Out in front here, you do see Leo Portage looking to the inside of the number 2 of Joshua Buckley. Buckley was eliminated out of the round of 12 by just 1 point. And now it's just kind of a pride thing for the driver of that Blue Deuce. A beautiful looking car here at Indianapolis. What other way would you like to have it other than an old Miller Lite scheme with the red, white, and blue on the side?
Yeah, very patriotic scheme as we head into our July 4th Independence Day celebrations. Hard on the brake pedal is Buckley's. He'll come down pit road. Same with the 948 of Bromley. They'll bring that draft top number 948 down pit road for the final time with just 14 laps to go when they cross the stripe next time by. It is Todd Cray still out front of Richard Murdoch. Max Terriel, it runs in 3rd, followed by James Heater and Leo Portage rounding out your top 5.
Yeah,
Todd Cray coming down pit road.
I was going to say, here comes Todd Cray. He's going to follow Lestranos down pit road. Maurer also down there sitting on pit road. Remember, he is one of those drivers that are possibly trying to find their way into that Final 4 here in the Red Light Racing Scrambler Series. Buckley going to be down on the way. He's just going to come out right ahead of the 3 of Tony Strano. They almost crossed paths as one was coming in, one was going out. So they will actually get out without anything, any damage on either of them. Murdoch's going to take over the race lead right now with just 14 laps to go, but he still has yet to make his final pit stop here of the night. Last time he was down was lap 38. So with 14 to go, the numbers just aren't going to work out for the driver of the Full Throttle Racing team out of Somerville, South Carolina. The lunch lady of Richard Murdoch will still have to pit once to repack his lunch and finish this race.
Yeah, right now he is on a different strategy like it right now, but he's only got about a half a straightaway difference between himself and the fresher tires that Max Terriel has on that Ford Mustang. James Heater right there behind them as well. About a half a second behind Terriel. All of them now 5 seconds just behind Richard Murdoch, who stays out, will get 13 laps to go.
Yeah, there you can see the distance between your race leader of Murdoch to Terriel, and Murdoch is slower on the straightaways. I think he's just hoping for a caution flag at this point, knows it might be the only way to put this 0-1 in victory lane here tonight. He is, even right now, I'm looking at it, it looks like he is 10 miles an hour slower through that corner. There you see the blistering pace that Max Terriel is putting down. Last time by for Richard Murdoch, that was a 55.3. Last time by for Terriel, 51.4. So, I mean, the sand in the hourglass is definitely running out.
Or do you think Murdoch is saving fuel as much as he can right now until Theriot gets to him and then can run him hard? Can he save enough fuel as they come off of turn number 4? He'll stay out as now the 148 of O'Brien. He'll come down pit road with that Shell V-powered Ford Mustang.
Yeah, I'm running the math here, Al. It just does not seem that he would be able to. I'm calculating he's going to be able to go about 2 to 3 more laps at most with this Chevrolet before he's able to come down pit road. I mean, why not? Give it a whirl. But here comes Max Terriel. He will look to the inside down the back straightaway. He will take over the race lead with not much resistance from that 0-1.
So the 0-1 of Murdoch was turned into the 10 as the storm from the north of Max Terriel is able to get by. Now Heater will go underneath that 0-1 of Murdoch as well. So Murdoch trying to get the best position. We'll see what he does this time off turn number 4. Will he go down pit road? He does. He'll make the late left-hand turn right in front of Leo Borden. And so our last car to come down pit road with just 11 laps to go.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where the Richard Murdoch machine comes out back out onto the raceway, because Max Terriel and James Heater, then Sean Butler, they are already gone, and they are already working their way onto the back straightaway. So they are essentially a half a lap now away from putting that 0-1 machine down a lap. And remember, it takes you about 50 seconds if you do 4 tires and fuel to make it the rest of the way. I mean, Murdoch doesn't need a full tank of fuel here, though. He only needs about 8 seconds of fuel, so we'll see if it is, as it is going to be a 2-tire stop. He is down and away in that 0-1 machine, so he will stay on the lead lap for our race leaders. The problem is, he is going to fall to the 9th, he's going to fall to the 10th position, and it might be, I believe that's where the bleeding may stop. Somebody just smoked the outside wall down here, and I'm not sure if that was Michael Trevarthen or who that was. Somebody hit the wall, and it almost sounded like a motor was going to expire in my ear.
Someone making hard contact with the outside wall. Trying to think to see who it might have been.
Yeah, there's only 2 cars out in front there, and that would have been the Mauer and the Trevarthen machine, but both of them are under power, and it doesn't look like any more damage to the Michael Trevarthen machine that wasn't already there from earlier in this race. So we'll see if there's anybody that comes up slow on the radar here, but we're talking about Murdoch. He will fall back into that 10th position, and it's a little whiles back, 3 seconds back till Buckley would get there. So I believe Murdoch with those 2 tires may start to kind of pull away from the 2 of Buckley, who is right now running behind the 184. That is Kevin O'Brien. O'Brien's going to swing it high, so Buckley, Troutman, and I believe that's the Bruce Potter entry, who also has fresh tires on his 59. They will all be able to work around the man from Australia. You know, there was a bounty, Al. I know you didn't get to hear it up in the lobby before with these guys. There was a bounty that if Kevin O'Brien beat the number 2 of Josh Buckley here tonight, that it didn't matter if O'Brien finished in 20th and Buckley finished in 21st, that we were actually going to have to talk to him. That was the bounty that was put out there between the 2. A friendly rivalry bet here at Indianapolis.
Still plenty of time where that can happen, though this time by the way, 8 laps to go. And who wouldn't want to talk to Kevin O'Brien? Probably one of the nicest drivers in the Red Light Scrambler series on the circuit here. Always a friendly person for us to chat here on the Turn 3 Racing Network.
The only man from Australia also here into the Red Light Racing Series. We have Canadians. We have a man from Australia. We have a ton of drivers out of the United States. But you know what? the only man from down under and one of the longest running drivers in the Red Light Racing series. So, I mean, that's hats off to not only Red Light Racing to keep Kevin O'Brien around, but Kevin O'Brien to stay here. A lot of times nowadays, it seems like drivers like to come in and out of series, but not here at Red Light Racing. They have a lot of drivers that have been here for many years, not seasons. It's years that these drivers have, just like Kevin O'Brien, who right now runs into the 20th position, but with 8 laps to go, it looks like James Heater has started to chew back into that race lead. It is still only going to be a 2-horse race, as Sean Butler is about 5.8, almost 6 seconds back behind our race leaders.
Yeah, Leo Bordens and that FedEx number 11 working around Heater and then working around Max Stereo. Kind of caught Stereo in probably not the best place where Stereo would have liked to have let the Leo Bordens mobile by. That's kind of allowed Heater to chew back in, down 7/8 of a second between your top two. But Roger, right now, if the checkered flag were to come out, it'd be Max Stereo moving on to the round of 4. And let me tell you what, the championship contestants do not want that. Dale has been very fast since the chase has started, the playoff system here for the Red Light Scrambler series. And, well, next week, going to another 1.5-mile track where we've seen Stereo be very quick, but it is also in the trucks.
Keep an eye on that as Eric Johnson works his way around that 86 there of James Skelton. Both those drivers on a very similar race pace path. It looks like Johnson pitted 1 lap sooner than the James Skelton machine. They run now into the 4th and 5th position, but here comes Skelton. He's trying to get around. This could be 1 point right here in a championship hunt. Oh, almost contact down the front straightaway as Johnson was trying to block Skelton down to the inside, but now it looks like Skelton going to get the inside momentum. Will he be able to run away and hide? That is a battle for position. That is a championship battle right there.
Yeah, side by side they were down in the straightaway. Now Johnson right in the back bumper. You see Skelton going to protect the inside line. You got to protect that inside line. That is the preferred line around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Johnson working back to the outside. Will he clear him down the turn row 3? He will not. Sparks flying as they work through the corner. Side by side they go. Johnson going to do the crossover. He'll move to the inside of Skelton. Skelton tries to slam the door shut off of turn number 4. It'll be Skelton showing the way. They know with Stereo and Heater out front, this could be the race for the 4th and final transfer spot into the championship 4. Here comes Gray out of nowhere. He's going to pass both of them.
Yeah, he's going to get 2 for 1 down the straightaway. He opens up the door for Eric Johnson now. Johnson, though, just can't get the power down. A little sideways action that time out of turn number 1. So down the short chute there, he'll just fall back in line. But look at Todd Cray. He just goes on. He motors on. He's got 3 lap pressure tires than both these drivers. And he is just not going to mess around. He is just checking out. The draft actually going to start to pull James Skelton back here. Just 4.5 more laps to go here at this big 2-mile track that they call Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And what a racing action we have back here. Out front, though, nothing has changed. Theriault still has a 1-second gap over James Heater. Then it's about 11 seconds from Heater back to Sean Butler, so nothing going on out front here. This is the battle for the 4th, 5th, and 6th position. And Justin Gann, well, you see him back there. He is just a little bit farther back, running in that 7th position. Maurer runs 8th right now. Trevarthen rounds out the 9th position. Richard Murdoch, remember, who played the long run strategy. He now currently runs in the 10th spot, and I think that's where he might end up tonight. I don't know if he can close the gap for 3 seconds. He'd have to be a second a lap or not better to catch Michael Trevarthen, who runs out in front of him. So that's your top 10 here with just 4 laps to go in your Lymphoma Cancer Awareness 162 here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
This time by, there'll be 4 laps to go. There'll be 3 to go for Max Stereo as he crosses the line. The driver has been dominant all night long, Roger, and I believe out of the last 4 races, he has not finished outside of the podium except for last week at the Iowa Speedway, where, well, didn't really go to Max's night, I believe.
Yeah, he won back at the Richmond Raceway to lock himself into the round of 8. Now, if he wins tonight, it's an automatic ticket punch to the round of 4 just next week at the hot and slippy Atlanta Motor Speedway, which you said earlier fits right in to Max Theriault's wheelhouse. He likes the short track racing, but he doesn't mind the tracks like Atlanta where you really have to kind of save your stuff for the end. But this time, as he works out of turn number 4, the 2 popsicle sticks will be in the air here. Just 4 more miles of racing. And look at all the lap traffic, though, that is going to play havoc here in these final 2 laps. You got the 184 of Kevin O'Brien. You got the 62 of Ethan Troutman. And just out in front of them, I believe that's the number 2 of Joshua Buckley. So you got 3 drivers here that could play factors into this race. Terriot going to back it up just a little bit. He has a 1.8-second lead over James Heater. He does not have to go up there and battle them right now if he doesn't want. But what you see down the back straightaway is not what Max Terriot wants to see. He sees the battle for position there with Kevin O'Brien as he's looking to the inside of that 62 of Ethan Troutman, as he will get it sorted out as Max Terriot going to close in now on that 62. It'll be 1 to go this time by as they work out of turn 4.
Yeah, Terriot going to work in the back bumper. Does not need to push the issue. He can kind of ride there. The race lead 1.83 seconds. Troutman going to bow out of the way as he knows that it'll be the 42 of Terriot. He's going to wait the final trip around the speedway for Max Terriot.
He'll work it back down into turn number 1. The man who has led the most laps. On the final lap, he finds himself with a 2-second gap over James Heater. This race, unless something freaky were to happen for the man from Canada, he will win his 2nd race in the Red Light Racing Scrambler Series. Works down the back straightaway for the final time, just 1 mile away from winning this race here at Indianapolis. I don't know if he's actually going to run up upon Kevin O'Brien at this point. He does not have to go get that Ford Mustang, so he'll be through 3, all clean and green here for the 42. Just 1 corner left as he enters turn number 4. He'll just have to come down the front straightaway for the final time out of turn number 4. It looks like Kevin O'Brien will hold that lap for himself. Max Terriot down to the inside. He is going to salute the fans. He's going to salute the race team. Max Terriot will win the Lymphoma Cancer Awareness 162 here in Indianapolis.
Max Terriot going to lock himself in to the championship for next week at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. James Heater will cross the line in your number 2 spot, followed by Sean Butler, Todd Craig coming across the line now. He'll finish 4th, followed by Eric Johnson and James Skelton. Rounding out your top 6, Justin Gann going to cross the line. He'll finish in your 7th position, followed by Nathan Maurer, who's going to come across the line in the 8th position here tonight. So Maurer, I believe, just doing the math quick in my head, Roger, well, he's not going to be part of that championship 4 that he was hoping for.
Yeah, it looks like Murdoch comes across 9th as Michael Trevarthen lost a spot there on the final lap. He was trying to give it all he had in that 31, so he'll give up that 9th position to Richard Murdoch. Trevarthen, who was coming into the night looking to possibly lock himself in, looks like his championship hunt will be over as he finishes in the 10th spot. So we will wait till everything's all tallied up here as that 42 of Max Terriot, he'll come down the front straightaway here. He will be able to burn it down for all of you race fans. And, well, Al, what an amazing race it was here tonight as we get ready for a post-race show. A completely green flag race here at Indianapolis in the final race before we lock down the final 4.
Yeah, this race was a very exciting race from the drop of the green flag. How about the strategy calls, which is always part of Indianapolis, whether it's with the Indy cars or the full fendered stock cars here that the Red Light Scrambler Series brought in. But Max Terriot showing that he is in championship form and going green the checkered in the penultimate race of the season.
Well, as Max Terriot goes around the raceway here to celebrate himself, we will step away for just a moment from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We'll be right back here with your post-race show for the Lymphoma Cancer Awareness 162. Welcome back here, race fans, to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Lymphoma Cancer Awareness 162. We have officially locked down our top 3 finishers here tonight. And, well, Al, I believe you're standing down here on the front straightaway with that 42.
Next arrow down here looking for that ice cold milk that they have here at the Indianapolis Raceway. And Max, what a dominant performance here tonight at Indianapolis.
Yeah, I was hoping for a green flag race. I knew on the long run it would be beneficial for me last night. On the short run, guys were faster than I was, so it just fell the right way for me tonight.
Well, yeah, guys were coming in the pit road different times. Did that force your hand into a different strategy at all? Did you guys stick with the game plan from the start of the race?
Yeah, I stick to my game plan. I tested the tire wear and the difference of running longer or shorter. And in the end, I felt like cutting it in 4 different stints was the better option for me.
Well, next week we head to Atlanta Motor Speedway with the truck for the last race of the season. You, my friend, are going to be racing for a championship. What's your outlook on the championship race, and what's your outlook for possibly bringing home that championship this season?
Yeah, I pretty much needed to win tonight, so I'm really happy that I got it done for a shot at the championship next week. Going at Atlanta, the last few times we've been there, I think we've been in the trucks or the cups, and it's raced very differently from one race to the other. I know historically James Heater is very fast at Atlanta, also James Skelton, and I believe probably Eric Johnson also made it in the top 4. So it'll be a close battle over there, long race, and hopefully it'll be as clean as tonight.
Well, for the final time in the Cup Series, car, you take home the checkered flag, and who makes it all possible for you, Max, here in getting you in the victory lane?
First of all, I want to thank my girlfriend, also my friend Max at the mkmedic.com, all my other friends watching. Every week, Richard, Josh, and James setting up the practices in the race. Always looking forward to the broadcast on Turn 3 from you guys, and hope that everyone shows up next week for an exciting race at Atlanta.
So there you have it, Roger. That's our championship contender headed to Atlanta next week. One of the 4 that'll be running for a championship, and I believe you caught up with our 3rd place finisher, Sean Butler, here on pit road.
Yeah, I caught up with the Trust Me Vodka driver of the 88, Sean Butler. Sean, you played a little bit different strategy than a lot of these guys, trying to find yourself into victory lane. You were off sequence from the start, and it kind of started to pull drivers down pit road. Is that a strategy that you guys had picked out from the start of this one, or did you guys just come up with it about, well, when you were ready to pit?
Yeah, I kind of got behind on. I really thought I could make it to lap 20 on fuel, so I was trying to make it to that and then see what would happen. But wasn't meant to be. I'd pit at lap 19, and then I was so far behind Max and James. I felt I was just as good, if not maybe just a skosh faster on the long runs than those guys. So kind of kicking myself in the butt for my strategy. I should have just pitted with them and tried to stay with them, but it is what it is. I wasn't racing for anything other than try to do something different and get a win. So congrats to Max for punching his way into the chase championship. I mean, I think he's going to be the man to beat there. So good luck to Max.
Yeah, you're not running for a championship this year because the schedule just couldn't allow you to kind of commit to that full time. You would have been knocked out a couple weeks ago when you took that trip down south there. It looked like a good trip, by the way. We did check out a couple of those pictures, so happy for you for that one. Just not going to race for a championship. What does that mean to you now for the first time in, well, call it the last 3 years, not seasons, last 3 years, that you're not going to be into that championship for?
Yeah, it's a little weird, but I enjoy going on these rides. That's why I bought my motorcycle. So I knew the summer months would wreak havoc on this. I'm leaving here on Friday for another 10 or 11 day trip. So that's why I'm gonna be here on Monday. But I'm having back surgery here in a few weeks, so hopefully it doesn't affect my the next season that we start here. But I got till August or so to get going. So looking forward to that. See if we can contend for a championship for the fall season, and give them heck and see what we can do with the Trust Me Vodka Chevy.
But yeah, Sean, well, for the final time, possibly, since we may not see you, who makes it all possible for you in this 88 crew as you finish third on the podium here tonight?
Thanks, Trust Me Vodka, coming on board, sponsoring us over at Gen X. The guys over here, you guys up in the booth, all the guys, admins, all the race car drivers. I mean, green flag all the way here. That's what it's all about here at Red Light. And all my teammates at Need for Speed. Look forward to next season, and good luck to James Heater, or James. I'm not sure who made it. I know James Skelton and probably Eric Johnson or whatever. Yeah, Eric Johnson made it. I'm not sure if James Heater or someone else made it, but good luck to all four of those guys, wherever they are. And James Skelton, my teammate. Be cool if he could win it.
Well, Sean, congratulations on that third place. You just heard it from third place. Al, I think we got one more special little bit of a guest interview here tonight. He goes by the he drives the 33, and Al, he's the last one to make it into the chase.
Yeah, just getting the official 4-driver roster that'll run for a championship next week. And Eric Johnson, you have made it, my friend. You are going to be racing for a championship next week in Atlanta.
Wow, it was a hard battle between me and James at the last lap, but yeah, I'm glad I made it. I think he made it too.
Yeah, right now Eric Johnson, James Skelton, Max Theriot, and James Heater, your top 4 drivers that will advance into next round. And you in that Dirty Mo Radio number 33 car, you had speed here tonight, and then we saw you and Skelton going at it. With that battle, were you weighing in that could be your championship hopes?
Yeah, definitely. I thought it was him or I, in the last lap, fight to the finish without wrecking each other, and we did that, and we both made it.
Well, congratulations on making it into the championship 4. Now that you know who your battle contestants are for next week at Atlanta in the truck, how's your outlook of the season finale being at a very worn-out Atlanta Motor Speedway in the trucks?
That should be interesting. I'm not a big fan of the trucks, unless they're loose, but we'll see. The person to beat, definitely Max, and just give it my best and try to get this championship.
Well, it's been a great season for you. You get into the chase here. You actually led the points in this round of 8 and got in here by just 5 points, separated first through fourth. So 7 points was back where Nathan Maurer was our first driver, not advancing into the round, the final 4 as we go to Atlanta. So who makes it all possible for you week in and week out? And yeah, it's been a great season. I'm very looking forward to Atlanta.
Yeah, everybody involved with the Red Light Racing League, all the admins, they put a lot of hard work into it to get the series going. You guys broadcasting do a great job, and my wife for letting me mess around on the computer on Monday nights. So just thanks to everybody.
Well, there you have it, Roger. That is another contestant in the final 4 here tonight that has advanced from Indianapolis to next week's Atlanta race with the trucks. And what an exciting race. Green the checkered here tonight, 65 laps in the Lymphoma Cancer Awareness 162.
Yeah, as your stats or your standings from this race do scroll across the top there, let's take a quick moment, though, and talk about who is going to be racing for that championship. You just heard from Eric Johnson. Another one of the drivers that will be racing for the championship is going to be the man who won here tonight. That is Max Theriot. He comes into the final round of the season, the championship 4. He has 3 wins on the season. Eric Johnson has none. James Heater has, I believe, he won the opening race of the season when they came across the line 4 wide, and Tim Blum was disqualified for passing below the yellow line through the tri-oval on that final lap, so he got his win there. But I mean, it's going to be a tough one. You got Eric Johnson, James Skelton, Max Terrell, and James Heater, so 3 of the drivers there having wins, and just the Mr. Consistency for Eric Johnson. So it's going to be a tough one come next week to put themselves into the, well, I think you're going to have to win next week to win the championship.
Yeah, just taking a look back throughout the season, and well, the trucks never really ran on 1.5 miles this season. So what will that play? We know that they are a little bit less horsepower, a little bit less downforce. With the F-150, the Chevy Silverado, and the Toyota Tundra, it'll be under battle next week at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. I'm excited for it, and it's going to be heads-up racing. Whoever beats the other drivers, well, that'll be your 2020 Season 1 champion for the Red Light Scrambler Series.
Yeah, you can catch all that racing action just right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network next week. But that's about going to do it here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. For everybody at the Turn 3 Racing Network, I'm Roger Muth. That's Al Smith. We also got to thank everybody over at the Red Light Racing Scrambler Series. That's not the only red light race this week. You can catch their SK Modified Series just on Thursday night, also same time as what you tuned in here tonight. But until we see you next time, race fans, we hope you all stay safe, and we can't wait to see you back next week.